Hey guys, my name is Matthew and this is Danielle.
And we are US citizens who have just recently given birth to a child in the UK.
This video is going to be kind of a vlog of that process, including at the hospital and the travel over there. And intermixed in between that, we've also talking about some of the differences between the birth that we gave in the US to our first daughter and this one that we've given to our second daughter.
Hey, so I've been timing my contractions for about an hour and a half. I really thought these were practice contractions, and they may still be. They're getting a little bit more painful, they're lasting a little bit longer, and the time between them is getting shorter. But I'm still laying in bed, kind of hoping that they're just gonna settle down and I'll just go to sleep. Because it's after 10:30 and I kind of just want to go to sleep. Hey guys, so that clip that you saw was actually from 2 weeks ago. It was not real labor, unfortunately. And since then, I've been having what they call prodromal labor, where you have contractions that get down to about 3 minutes apart. They can be a minute, minute and a half long. They hurt.
Not Braxton Hicks.
Yes, not Braxton Hicks. And they can last for hours and hours and still eventually fade away. So my longest bout with that was 22 hours of that. It was exhausting, really fun.
It felt like real labor. We thought we were going into labor.
It did. But anyway, so what has happened since then is we went to my most recent doctor appointment and they said that I should probably be induced. So that is where we're going right now. We're going to the hospital. I'm gonna have a lovely pessary inserted. It's hopefully gonna ripen my cervix and kick me into actual labor over the course of the next 24 hours. So I'll go to the hospital, probably come back home, hopefully go into labor, then go back to the hospital. And that is what we are doing right now. All right, an update. I went in for my appointment that was scheduled for 11. I waited for about an hour and a half until about 12:30 to be seen. And after seeing me, they determined that a pessary would not be necessary and that they think they can just go ahead and break my waters. So that's exciting, except they can't do it right now because there's no room in the labor ward. So they're basically just waiting until there's room in the labor ward, and then I should be able to be transferred and hopefully get this labor started. I'm about to get my waters broken, and I'm feeling a bit nervous. That's all.
Also, now she's taken to saying water's broken, which is a very British way of saying having your water broken.
Or maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just messing up. Getting my... What did I say? Water
broken. Yeah, that's
broken.
what we Americans say. Yeah.
Water has been broken, and it was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I didn't even know she had done it until after she said, so that was helpful. And now we just wait.
Can you tell them about how your cervix hasn't been checked at all this pregnancy?
Oh yeah, this pregnancy, today is the very first day that I've gotten my cervix checked. And that's very different from with Willow. All of the appointments that happened in the third trimester, my cervix was being checked, and at the beginning of the pregnancy. So that's honestly been kind of nice.
Because normally it's pretty uncomfortable?
Yeah, it's not the most comfortable part of an appointment to have your cervix checked.
Right. And then you said that today that the woman who did it was more gentle than you had.
Yeah, she was great.
Is that because your cervix is different, or do you think it's because...
partially because it's so late, right? Because my cervix is, more prepped. But also, I think she was just really nice about it. Cool. As nice as you can be for something like that.
Cool. So water's broken, and now what? We're waiting for baby to...
Yeah, we're making sure baby's good. We're going to be monitored for 30 minutes. And we are also...
So just to update you, that's Danielle's contraction face. She's having a contraction.
They're getting stronger really fast. This is exciting and terrifying. Okay.
She can still breathe through them, though, so that's good, right?
Yeah, I'm talking, so we're good.
Okay.
That's great.
Cool. Well, we'll update you, and we'll see you guys in just a minute when we're a little bit closer.
As far as differences between this experience so far in the States versus, the UK. Sorry, I can't even think right now. haven't noticed that many differences so far in this experience here versus our experience back in the States. The room has a lot of the same things, obviously a bed, a bathroom, a chair.
Equipment is about the same.
Yeah, the equipment is about the same. Sorry.
Yeah, as far as like baby monitoring and things like that. Sorry, this is her having a contraction. Baby monitoring stuff is about the same. There's a heart rate monitor over there that we're monitoring baby with. Danielle's also on a monitor, dripping fluids and things like that. All that is
Dripping fluids.
Sorry, I don't know what. Anyway, it's mostly the same overall experience. I think there are a couple differences we have noticed. Actually, I just want to say real quick, the way that Danielle is handling these contractions is like a total champ.
They're just going to get stronger, babe.
They do get stronger, but I know from the first time that we gave birth that she handled them like nearly in silence the entire time. Even when it came to pushing, she was relatively quiet and just a total rock star. No pressure, but I'm sure she's going to do that again because she's awesome, and I just want to take a second to brag on her.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about the difference in temperature, which does exist?
Oh, yeah. So it is a little warmer here, but it's not nearly as bad as I was expecting. Like, it's still completely manageable, which is perfect. So
Yeah.
that's really good.
I think we heard a lot of horror stories about how hot it was going to be in the labor ward and all this kind of stuff, and it's definitely warmer in here than U.S. hospitals tend to be very cold.
Yeah. But definitely still manageable, which is good.
Yeah. And then I think the only thing that we've noticed as far as, obviously we don't have a direct comparison to make, but wait times do seem longer, I think. We were scheduled to get induced at 11, right? And then, mind you, there's a lot of different decisions being made and things like that, but nothing really happened until 4:15, I think.
Yeah, that's true. One other difference that I did notice was when I first arrived at the hospital. I had never been to this hospital before, so I didn't know exactly where to go. But when I came in, there was no one really for me to ask for directions. I would press the call buttons on the door buzzers and they would just buzz the door open, but I wasn't told where to go and I didn't know who to ask my questions to, I suppose. So I guess that was a bit different. I think I'm used to, if I walk into a hospital, there are lots of people for me to ask and I know exactly where to go to have questions answered. And at least today, I kind of wandered around until I found the right spot. But customer service and kindness are completely, different things. And everyone that I have had the opportunity to interact with, the nurses, the maternity support workers, everyone's been absolutely lovely, very kind, very loving, and they're even, cracking jokes with me, which I really appreciate. So it's a really calm and relaxed atmosphere here, and I really appreciate that.
Okay, sorry to interrupt the vlog portion of the video, but I have to interrupt and let you know what happened because we weren't able to get a lot of it on film. The midwife came in and checked Danielle and she said she was 5 centimeters dilated, which was great. That means we're about halfway. The first half apparently went a lot slower than the second half because about 20 minutes later, Danielle was in active labor. It moved so fast that we just weren't expecting it at all. Didn't have time to do any more vlog style videos before the actual birth came. And I actually just barely got the video camera set up in order to catch this next section in time because Danielle moved so quick. So from the time that you see this next section, it is actually the birth process, the actual giving of the birth. It's about 2 minutes long and it is the entire time she's pushing. She literally pushes for 2 minutes. It was so quick and it was just over. So here's your trigger warning. If you don't want to see the birth, you'll have to skip forward a little bit. Yeah, so here it is.
Keep going, listen to your body, keep going, 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 beautifully controlled. Keep going, little pushes, that's it. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Good girl, you're doing amazing. And again, I know it's stinging like crazy. Baby's just coming up for crowning in a minute.
Squiggle. 1940, advancing quickly.
Yeah. Good girl, well done. Keep going, listen to your beautiful body. It's doing great. Breathe, 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 and then little push again. That's it. Keep going. But breathe, 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 breathe. Tiny little push. Head's crowning. Breathe again, breathe again, breathe again, breathe, 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 breathe. One more push to the nose and the mouth. When you're ready, heads out. Beautiful. Good girl. One more contraction, we deliver the shoulders and it'll all be over. You're amazing! Talk about speedy. Did you want Vanya to do your baby? Right, if you've got a contraction, go with it. If you haven't, don't.
Okay, we do.
I'm sorry, no, that means a close to change. That's not. Presentation, you little tote bag.
Matthew, 41 delivered. Well, congratulations.
Baby up there. Sorry, let me drop it. No, you just your foot. That's all I need. No, just my ankle wasn't so twisted.
That was the birth of Miss Lowen, which is a Cornish name meaning elm tree, and she fits right into our family with her older sister Willow, also a tree. Yeah, she's lovely. She's wonderful. She was 7 pounds, 2 ounces. She's absolutely perfect. Just wanted to cover a couple more differences that we noticed. And the first is there was no doctor present at all for the entire labor and delivery process. It was completely run by midwives and it was really good. They listened to my body. They were amazing. And I can't say enough good things about just that. They were so relaxed. It was so calm. And honestly, I feel like they understood my body more than I understood my body by the end. I had no clue what was happening and they were just on it. So that was amazing. But in the States, I was definitely delivered by a doctor, and a doctor would just kind of poke her head in like every once in a while throughout the whole process. But that didn't happen this time. Second difference was also kind of related to listening to me and what I wanted. And part of this is probably just, this is my second child. So I had an idea of things that I wanted to do differently. With Willow, I was, from the moment I came into the labor and delivery ward, like I was in the bed the entire time. I never got up, I never moved around. It wasn't really an option. They had me on monitors, and I really wanted to do that differently this time. And the room was perfectly set up for that. They had a birth ball, they had this massive bean bag. They let me know multiple times, just whatever you think will work for you, go ahead and do it. They would have helped me with different positions if I had needed that or wanted that. They were just very flexible, and that was really, really awesome. Also, the position I gave birth in was very different, and that was probably one of my biggest regrets with, giving birth to Willow. I was just flat on my back. That was just what they did. I wasn't given a different option, and it was not pretty when she came out. Lots of damage was done, and so I was pretty quick to tell the midwife, I don't mind whatever position you think will work best, but I do want to avoid just being flat on my back. And they were so open to that. And in the moment, I actually gave birth on my left side, which I didn't expect to do, but it was perfect. She came right out. Another difference, and maybe this one is something that wasn't quite as helpful for me, was there seemed to be some miscommunication between staff members about what expectations were for me. So there were just multiple times where I was told something different depending on the staff member that I was interacting with. So one example was one staff member said, hey, if you want to leave, the labor room, go ahead, you can go for a walk outside, just be back at a certain time. And then the next person said, actually, no, please stay in here. Also mask rules, what we thought was the policy going in based on what we had been told kind of depended on the person, like where you can wear a mask, where you don't have to wear a mask. Just little things like that kind of added up. And this wasn't something that just happened like this time in the hospital. It was also kind of just through our entire pregnancy experience with the NHS. Just little bits of miscommunication, missed appointments, not confirming things. And so that is one difference that we did notice. I did mention this one in a previous video, but I did have to bring a lot of things with me because those things were not provided for me in the hospital. The main one that I feel like was just so different was I wasn't provided with a hospital gown. So I had to bring my own clothes to labor in. And that just felt really different to me. It wasn't a problem because I brought one, but it was just different. And as well as all of my post-birth things, all of the pads, the peri bottle, washcloths, like white, like anything that I needed afterward was provided by me and not the hospital. Earlier in the video, when I was actively in labor, you heard me talk about the temperature in the labor room being really pretty manageable, and I'm so excited about that. Once I got transferred to the postnatal place, the recovery room, that all changed. I sweat through my clothes. Like, it was kind of disgustingly hot. It was actually pretty funny because the midwives would come in after shift changes and they would walk in and they'd say, "Ooh, it's quite warm in here." And they would check to make sure that the heaters were not on. And it was a good bonding time for me and the two other women who were in there because they were also commenting on how hot it was in that room. Another pretty big difference was, so in that recovery process where I'm in the room with the other women, all of the people came to me to do all of her checks. And like even the hearing test, they came to me for that. The pediatrician came to me to do all of the different checks. And that is slightly different from our experience with Willow. We had to come back in for the hearing test and we had to go to like a different part of the hospital for that. So it was just nice being able to just be in bed with the baby and everyone just sort of came to me, and it was a lot of different staff members, but every single one of them was so kind and so thoughtful and loved interacting with the baby. Lots of compliments obviously for baby, which always feels good because he worked so hard on this baby. But it was really nice to have everyone just sort of come to me and me not have to go a ton of different places. My concluding thoughts about this whole process, the pregnancy, the birth, the labor, it was really amazing. It was an incredible experience. I'm so glad that our baby is finally here, and I could not have asked for a better staff or a better experience. As always, thank you so much for watching.
We put out new content every single week, and we'll see you guys next time.